It's Wednesday, January 20th, which is also known as Inauguration Day, and I'm Catherine Ross. This is The Street Live, and we're joined by Jim Cramer. Jim, how are you and Action Alerts Plus going to be approaching the inauguration and the markets?
Well, we're going to be investing with the idea that the vaccine inoculation is going to go better. We're investing with the idea that there will be a more concentrated notion that the stimulus should be directly addressing the people who are poor, and of course, obviously, making it so that the money gets to what I regard as being the closed enterprises that are really the shame, because they had nothing to do with their problems, with any, had nothing to do with how hard they were working. We're going to be investing in cybersecurity, investing in 5G. We've got a whole bunch of themes that I think are going to work, and we're really uniquely focused on unity and what that will mean. Rancor, the day, if you go back to the inauguration of Trump, it was stunning. It was stunning for its hate, stunning for its admission that maybe all of the government's a fraud. And that continued for 4 years. And it's created a group of people who truly hate the country, hate the way the country is, I should say. They would tell you they love the country. And now I think it's time to focus on unity. Biden's no Lincoln, but it's certainly an admirable goal, and will put the pressure on those who don't want it. This is going to, Biden wants to roll back even past the Tea Party. Now, can he do that? I don't know. There are people who are ideologues, but there's a message of hope here that this older gentleman who has always been involved with compromise can work some magic. And I care more about him getting everybody inoculated. And there are a lot of people who feel that it's actually going well. And these people are idiots, morons. And, I salute them for being stupid.
Jim, we have covered how investors could prepare for the inauguration and the stocks to watch going into the Biden administration. But the day he is here, so I really want to focus on what sector, based on your lists, what sector is key to watch in the first 100 days of this new administration?
Well, I think autos, which is part of remote work. Remote work is a theme that's been lost because people don't understand that we're in a hybrid society now, because we've all tasted the idea of not going to the central office and we don't want to go back. So for the people who have jobs and commute, that may be a thing of the past, particularly with a president that is anti-fossil fuel. So remote work is Ford and GM. I happen to prefer Ford. I think Ford is one of our absolute favorite stocks for 2021. It's been a remarkable winner. Why is that? Because Jim Farley is running Ford, and Matt Damon's running Ford. We got a guy who wants to sell cars and trucks and make money. This is the first time this has happened in maybe going back 50 years. So people are underestimating Farley. They're underestimating Mary Barra. But you're going to want a car. Now, the chip shortage is another theory. We've got so much chips going into 5G that it is very difficult to try to get enough chips for autos. And that's going to cause a bit of a problem. But not anything I am truly worried about. Ford Motor may be the most exciting stock in our entire portfolio, other than Boeing, which I think is going to be the big winner with a giant move against China, but in quiet, which will give the Chinese a chance to be able to show us that they want to get things back to normal. Now, I don't like things back to normal, and I want to try to put my emotions aside. But what matters is that the Chinese are in a situation, if we choose to show diplomacy as opposed to just rancor, anger, xenophobia, then I think that there's a good chance that Boeing gets a very big order for the MAX.
Jim, I'm smiling because if you had put me in this spot a year ago and you told me that you loved Ford as much as you just said you did, I don't think I would have believed you back then. It's amazing how much this company has changed.
They had this guy who made cabinets running Ford. I knew Farley from way back. Farley is he's a car guy. And not a steel cabinet guy. Even Al Mulally is not a car guy. I think that this is his grandfather, Farley, worked at Ford. This is one of the most exciting things I've seen. Is basically a guy comes in and tells management, this is what should happen at the Lions, but it hasn't, tells management, look, here's what I want to do. I want to change the culture so that we make money everywhere, or I want to pull out. Witness the giant charge he took to get out of manufacturing, not selling, but manufacturing in Brazil. If that wasn't a tell of what his administration means, I don't know what is. So I'm a backer of Farley. If he gets the chips he needs, the stock is going to be on a one-way ticket to $12. And I think that people ought to get on the Ford train.
So, Jim, we know that Biden will be issuing a number of executive orders today. He's also going to be rejoining the Paris Accord and the WHO. Are all of these positives for Wall Street?
Are they positive for Wall Street? Not really. They're positive for different kinds of stocks in Wall Street. I mean, you certainly, I don't know if you want to be in the oil stocks because they're going to be much more heavily regulated, or you can say, well, look, if he doesn't let anybody drill anymore, then that goes to the incumbents, and you would just go buy Chevron and you go buy Pioneer, and that's why I've recommended those endlessly, and they have been good. But the environment, no, has never figured big other than in EV and carbon. I had last night I had Bracken Darrell on from Logitech, and they're going to put carbon, how much carbon there is on their products, so you can yourself become carbon neutral. That's going to be a very, very big theme for the next 4 years. I really like that. It's a new one that I want to add because I do think that we're going to be in a situation where there's going to be a premium on anything that does not pollute, and that's going to do well for travel and leisure too.
All right, Jim, let's get stock specific. Netflix reported that it added more subscribers than we had expected on Wall Street. And yesterday you suggested own Netflix into the quarter. What would you suggest for investors who are looking to get into the stock?
Right. The hell, I got that one right, you Mr. Wall Street bet fanatics. Look, Netflix had to go higher. Why did it have to go higher? Because I'm a devotee of what they have in terms of product. And I believe that Netflix, like Tesla, offers products that people just cannot resist. Same thing with Amazon. So Netflix is one of those systems where you could pay. I always look at it like this. You'd pay a lot more for Netflix. You'd pay a lot less for a lot of other stuff. You pay a lot more for Netflix because of original content, and the original content is better than everybody else's. I don't care. When I interviewed Reed Hastings last, what he told me was, look, I can kind of figure out what people want from looking at what people want, artificial intelligence. But they've got incredibly good movies, and that was the sign, incredibly good series, that was going to blow out the numbers. Now, people don't look at it like that. They look at some spreadsheet about the gross margin. But it's about the product, and that's what people forget. It's about the product and how much you pay for it, the product. And that's why that has been such an unbelievable stock. It fits in with a lot of different themes that I talk about. Fits in with e-commerce. It fits in with 5G. It's going to be even better with 5G. Fits in with the remote work, being at home. But remember, I am not involved with the stocks that are open stocks because I do believe we will be open if the president is good at getting the vaccine distributed.
But we may have a couple more months for that. So I want to bring in another earnings report that we got, which is from Procter Gamble. They also beat on their earnings with stronger than expected beats. But is this a stock to buy if you do think that COVID is going to be around for a while?
You got to be careful with Procter because they didn't give you they did not give you a robust conference call. I'm trying to call up some of the language that they gave you. It just wasn't good enough. And what I find is when you have a stock like Procter and it's moved up so much, you got to be very, very careful. Remember, they said in January, U.S. consumption decelerated, okay? Now, that is a big, big call. And we don't know what will happen, but social unrest, economic distress in many parts of the world add to uncertainty. They were not as bullish as I would have thought. And that, the decline in consumption from December to January is really hurting that stock. You can't touch it today. You can't touch it. It's not going to work until the sellers all realize there are many people who want to sell it because they'll read this a little late, and then when they do, they'll sell.
All right, so Jim, we covered Ford, but I want to bring up another stock favorite among our viewers, which is Tesla, because Oppenheimer boosted Tesla's price target to a street high of $1,036.
Yeah, well, Tesla, one of the things that was in the article, the paper today, was about VW and how they don't have their EV. Look, I think Ford's got an EV strategy with Rivian. GM is doing a lot of stuff with EV, but look, EV is huge. And EV is probably the most important theme that I left off my investable theme for 2021. I will have to update that and add that theme because I think it's very, very important to include it. And I've got some other themes that I'm working on. I'd like to make it a total of 12 themes because I think that now with immigration, going to be a key part of the Biden administration, I mean, it's entirely possible that you should just add homes. I may add homes to my investable themes because of this immigration aspect that many of the people who voted for Trump despise, but it's a reality.
Interesting. So do you think that the housing sector is going to...
Look at Google up 80. Holy cow, man, what's really coming true? Amazon up 97. These were the ones I said you want to buy. I know they've been resting. FANG has been resting, but now is FANG's day.
Well, we're going to talk more about FANG specifically on our Action Alerts Plus members only daily rundown show, which we'll get to in just a minute. But before we go, Jim, I do want to ask you, you unveiled your go list of stocks last night. And if an investor...
No, the go list was from months ago that I said you want to be in when the economy opens up. And I thought that those had worked dramatically right, with the only one not doing well is an Action Alerts named MasterCard, which today is really falling into where it should be, up 11. So that was a good list. PVH led that list, but Nike is a terrific stock to own. Good. Nike's back up to $2. I mean, Nike should be much higher. Nike really, that's direct to consumer, is doing incredibly well.
Well, and Jim, I brought it up because I wanted to talk to you about the laggards, which, I mean, you only had two that really lagged, which was really, as you just said, MasterCard and 3M. But it is pretty interesting to see your middle of the list. You've got Nike, for example. Nike's been doing pretty well. Disney, DuPont, which I don't think I would have seen.
DuPont's been one of the best. 3M reports this week. Got to be very, reports at 26. You got to be very very circumspect with 3M because of this PFAS stuff and how much the new president is not really, I think, is very anti any sort of pollution. So that's not great news for 3M. Disney's having a nice day. And then DuPont, we have to figure what to do with DuPont. I mean, it's had such a big run. And you do have that transaction with IFF. I don't want to be too aggressive here. I see other stocks that I do want to own, and I am very grateful that we held on to FANG, by the way. That was good.
All right, and with that, let's head on over to our Action Alerts Plus daily rundown show over on actionalertsplus.com. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm Catherine Ross, and we'll see you tomorrow.